So I literally just did like a 10-minute video and then it ran out of space before I'd finished. So I'm gonna have to do the whole thing again. Right, today I'm going to talk about treatment teams. I'm sorry I haven't been here for kind of like what I didn't do last week's video. I needed a break, and also I had like a shit ton of stuff to do for my degree show. So I've been like super busy and stressed out. My private view is actually tonight, so that should be nice. Gonna make cocktails with my friends and then go to the private view, so that should be good. So yeah, I am going to re-record the entire video now. So treatment teams, a lot of treatment teams seem to impose rules and restrictions on recovery, which just seems ridiculous to me anyway. But basically the first one that I hear a lot is lowering calories or never giving enough calories in the first place. Some treatment teams seem to give an adequate amount of calories as their meal plans, and then they seem to lower them as they gain weight. That doesn't make sense, because the whole point is that you eat the same amount and then you maintain a weight whilst you hit your set point, and that is what you are supposed to do. But it seems that they want to lower the intake. I mean, it's all to do with really like diet culture again, and our fat phobic society, and they're afraid that you're going to go past a certain weight, and then they just have these stupid minimum weights as well that you're supposed to hit, and a lot of time it's a BMI of 18.5, which is absolutely ridiculous because so many people are so underweight at that BMI, and they have it as like as a goal weight, minimum goal weight, and it's just insane. Like, and some of the time they even have like a maximum BMI that you should hit, which is absolutely insane. They cannot impose these rules upon you. It's frankly ridiculous, and it's completely driven by society's diet culture and how fat phobic we are. The second thing is weight gain, and how they seem to impose like rules about weight gain and how much you should gain per week. That is also ridiculous. Your body knows what it's doing. It's going to do what it needs to be healthy. You should not be trying to control the amount of weight gain that you have. I mean, that is also insane to me, because you're recovering from a restrictive eating disorder and then they're imposing rules about how much weight you should gain per week. That's a restriction again. That is still disordered. That is just frankly ridiculous. I mean, obviously, as you lose weight, it's going to be harder to lose weight than it is to gain weight, because your body does not want you to lose weight past under your set point. So it's going to take longer to lose weight because your body's going to try and not lose this weight. Whereas to gain it, it's going to be far easier, because your body is going like, right, I want to get back to the set point right now, ASAP, I want to be healthy. So it will gain faster. That's obvious, if you think about it logically. And to impose rules upon how quickly you should gain weight, that just baffles me. I don't understand. That just doesn't make sense in any way. The third thing is exercise. Some treatment teams seem to advise exercise. I'm not sure where they're getting their logic from here, but if somebody has a broken leg and they go walking around on it, all they're going to do is make it worse, and it's not going to repair. And yeah, I mean, and you're somebody with a damaged body. Exercising is going to put it under an amount of stress and strain that it cannot handle. You should not be exercising when you're in recovery. That is just clearly, I mean, these things are so obvious, but because of the way our society has kind of, become, everybody else has been, and us have been raised in this way, with all these rules and restrictions of our society, which just is kind of insane as well. And I feel kind of apprehensive kind of saying like, don't listen to your treatment team because they're, professionals and all. But at the end of the day, this is your health and your happiness, and it's important, and Yeah, I just don't think you should be listening to somebody who is trying to impose rules and restrictions upon your recovery. I mean, you are recovering from a disorder that has all these rules and restrictions that you impose upon yourself, and then going into recovery and still having rules and restrictions. It's just changing it up a little bit, and it's just not the way to like a full recovery, because you're supposed to let go of these rules and these restrictions. It doesn't make sense to kind of just switch up the rules and still have them restricting you. So yeah, but I think all you have to remember with treatment teams is they're still people, and their own opinions will come into play when they are treating you. The advice that they give still comes from the advice of society, and society is built on that one of the biggest industries is the weight loss industry, and we have to, in our society there's this kind of like idea that we should be working towards being better, looking better, altering our bodies to be more perfect all the time, and the way these multi-billionaire $1 million industry actually work is that the perfect goal is actually unattainable, so that you keep putting money into the industry and you never reach that goal, which means you continuously are giving them money. So that's the way we've all been raised, is to continuously try and be better and to look better, and there is never the kind of end of that. So these people have also been raised in the same society. So they have also been raised to be fat phobic. They've been raised in a diet culture. They've been raised with this unattainable goal of perfection, and the way they've been raised, they're still going to be trying to get you to reach that too, like what society says you should be. So they want to stop you from becoming overweight, and they don't want you to eat too much. So actually the advice they're giving is still, it's still influenced heavily by society. The other thing is the binging, and how they tell you to stop binging, even though it's not actually binging. I mean, it seems so obvious to me that people in recovery are going to have, extreme hunger. Because if you've been starving yourself for a period of time, your body is going to be damaged, and you're going to have an energy deficit which needs to be filled. And that just seems so obvious to me that you are going to eat a lot more when you're in recovery, because you need so much more energy to repair the body for the energy deficit, and that's when extreme hunger comes in, and you're going to be eating a lot more than you will when you're recovered. And treatment teams seem to see this as binging, and they kind of say, we don't want you to swing from one extreme to the other, we don't want you to develop binging disorder. But that's just so stupid. Like, it's so blatantly obvious that you would need so much more calories, and I don't understand why they try to stop you from doing this, because that's slowing down your recovery and might even prevent you from reaching remission. I know all the people who have followed their extreme hunger and listened to it, all of them have had it die down. It stopped at some point, including myself, and that's when their bodies are healthier. They have responded to the extreme hunger, they've eaten the amount that they need to eat to recover, and for their bodies to repair. And then it's died down after a certain time, after their bodies become healthier and able to handle a more normal amount of calories, like minimums amount, like give or take a bit, instead of eating 6, 7, 8, 9,000 calories a day. But they needed that at the beginning, they needed that when the extreme hunger is present, and that doesn't have to be at the beginning, that can be at the middle or the end, or all the way through, or on and off, but they responded to it when it happened, and it went away, and that should be so obvious to treatment teams that that's needed, that somebody who's been in starvation is going to need a lot more than the average person would, and I don't understand how they don't understand that. I mean, it's such an obvious thing when you think about it, and they don't seem to think about it. I think it's still that society, the pressure of diet culture and the fat phobia and stuff just heavily influences them so much. So obviously I mean, it's very difficult saying, you know, your treatment team's wrong, you shouldn't listen to them because you're like, you know, they're professionals and they have credentials and everything, but at the same time you have to realize they're still human and their advice still comes from our society. There are great treatment teams, but there are more bad ones than there are good ones, in my opinion. But there are some great treatment teams that forbid exercise, that will say that you should eat to your hunger past, you know, your minimums. You should be eating as much as you want. That don't view that as binging at all. They view that as what it is, and they don't impose rules upon like how much you should gain per weight and stuff like that. And those treatment teams are brilliant, and I hope that you guys have those treatment teams. But if you don't, then do remember that no one can tell you what to eat. No one can tell you to eat less. No one can tell you that you cannot eat a certain amount, that you have to eat this smaller amount. No one can tell you to exercise when you don't want to exercise, and they should not tell you to exercise. You should not be exercising in recovery. No one can tell you how much weight that you should gain. Like this, you know, they can advise you, but please remember that their advice is not always correct. That you should never ever ignore hunger. You should not be going hungry because they tell you that you have to eat this certain amount and you actually are hungry for more. You do not have to stick to that if you do not want to, and you should be responding to the hunger that you have because it's there for a reason. So, you know, by all means use treatment teams as support and as guidelines, but just please do remember that they are not necessarily correct, and that you should not be ignoring hunger. You should not be imposing rules and restrictions upon yourself. You should be eating enough, and you should not be exercising. You are not binging. You should not have to gain a certain amount per week. You can gain far more than that, and it's fine, and you are expected to, and some of it will be water weight and stuff like that. You know, this is all normal stuff. Please don't feel that you are restricted by your treatment team. Do not let them restrict you. Yeah, basically. So yeah, I think that's all I want to say. I'm just please do respond to your hunger, and please don't let anyone restrict you. You know, even if they're telling you to do so, you know, they cannot dictate your life. They cannot dictate what you do and don't do. You know, this is your health, and it's your recovery, it's your life, it's your happiness. Like, it's your body. Like, you need to treat it well, and no one can make you eat less or you know, anything. They can't tell you what to do. So if you're hungry, please do eat more. There are no limits to how much you can eat, and you are expected that you will eat a lot in recovery. You will eat, you know, double your minimums, triple your minimums at some point. There are a very few minority of people that don't get extreme hunger, but you almost certainly will. So please respond to it, because it is important for your recovery. Yeah, so basically use them as guidelines. Remember that they're still human, that they're still brought up in the same society that we are, and please don't think that they can dictate what you do and don't do. Yeah, so that's about it. I'm gonna go donate blood now, for the first time ever, and then I'm gonna do some food shopping, and then I'm going to make some dinner, and then go and drink cocktails with my friends, and then go to my private view and look at everybody else's work and see the exhibitions of all the art school. So yeah, I hope everybody's doing really well. I hope you're challenging your eating disorders and you know, having a good week. It's really hot here, a little bit too hot, but there I go being English and complaining about the weather, whatever it is. So I'm just going to be grateful that it is hot and sunny rather than raining. I hope it's good weather where you are, and I hope you're having a really good week, and I hope that you are continuously facing up to your eating disorder, challenging it and fighting it, and hopefully winning. Yeah, so I will make another video next Wednesday, hopefully. Yeah, so I will speak to you all then.